Hello Biafrans, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to this very good channel. We have come again with another information. Yes, many nations are now condemning Nigeria, and then 2027 is by the corner. Peter Obi is running up and down, the latest Alhaji of our time. Now, because of his ambition, he's now talking about Nnamdi Kanu's release. Or Mahi talking about Nnamdi Kanu's release so that they will deceive the gullible. And they are saying this because of their selfish ambition, not because they notice that Igbos are being marginalized or that they care for the stop of the marginalization of the Igbos. They left everything for Simon Ekpa and Nnamdi Kanu and the rest of us that are suffering. They left everything for us because they know the route and way and door to Aso Rock, where they will go and their pocket will be filled up with money. Yes, that is why they are doing what they are doing. So this negotiation that's about to happen, they now want to be the one to negotiate for Nnamdi Kanu. They now want to, stand by him to tell him this is what you should accept and what you shouldn't accept. Of course, they know Nnamdi Kanu will not listen to them. Ndị Igbo, ruo mgbe ka anyị ga-hate onwe anyị ruo. Somebody has suffered and has taken this mantle upon himself instead of us to rally around him like the Northerners would do, like the Yorubas would do. Oh no, we will not do that. We will rather go our different ways, our own ways. It is unbecoming and it's shameful indeed. I will have to leave this video for you to listen to.
Solution to the case of Nnamdi Kanu. For every one of them. I mean, why is he being held? It doesn't make sense to me. Some people say because he used vulgar words and everything. Is there anything wrong? I've not seen it. People just say, oh, using vulgar words. You say, it doesn't bother me if I'm president, whether they call me thief, call me a less man, call me idiot, which they call me today. It doesn't bother me. My duty as a leader is to the common man to put food on their table.
Well, if you are talking about the situation in the south, is it the same way you handle the agitators and those who are killing in the northeast and the northwest?
Remember what I said. If there are people I can talk to, I will talk to them. But remember what I said. Once I exhaust reason, I'll deal with it. That's the reason I said about the agitators. Let me tell you now. So it doesn't matter what. There's Yoruba agitators, there's other agitators, there's Israel agitators. I will talk to all of them. There's nothing wrong with agitating. Anybody who says, okay, come on, let's talk. You must exhaust reason. But I see all those functionalities as a function of a dysfunctional, is a result of a dysfunctional society. If you do the right things, all these things will collapse on its own. So what I'm going to unleash here has got.
Now, first of all, I have to acknowledge the fact that P2B, he did well, being bold enough to come on national television to speak and to say that Nnamdi Kanu, as a matter of fact, has no case to answer. Because he was still trying to affirm to what Nnamdi Kanu and his legal team has been saying. When P2B said that why are they still holding him there, that it makes no sense, that what is his crime? That they said he was making some statements and all that those things are not crimes, and which is exactly the same thing Nnamdi Kanu's legal team have been saying. That is why the federal government is finding it extremely difficult to actually, prove their case on this Nnamdi Kanu's case, because most of the things they brought in court are not even concrete evidence. They are just more or less hearsay evidence. He said he was the one that died or unalived Gulak. Meanwhile, he cannot prove beyond reasonable doubt that he was the one that sent people to, unalive Gulak. He said he was the one that, perpetrated or probably ordered people to, attack the correctional facility. They asked you, show us proofs or evidence. You can't. He said he did this, he did that. You can't even prove one single case against this particular man. Yes, a lot of us might not like the way P2B has been moving because of his desperation to be the president. Meeting Malami, that is where I had a very big issue with him. Malami, who was the one that orchestrated this illegal rendition of Nnamdi Kanu. You went to visit him because of your desperation to become Nigeria's president. Well, that is where I had a very big problem with him. But in this particular interview, yes, he was bold enough. But I think your boldness should not just end on literally or merely saying it. Because we've seen a lot of political leaders from the Southeast extraction just saying it. We need actions. We need actions. We need movements. We need protests. because a lot of courts have actually ruled in favor of this particular man. If it was the Northerners, by now they could have actually hit the street and done a lot of things, probably to ensure pressure a lot of people, use international communities and international criminal court and all that to pressure the Nigerian government to free this man, since the Kenyan court has ruled that the illegal rendition of this particular man, being Nnamdi Kanu, broke a lot of international laws. So P2B should know that fine and good, we appreciate you for lending your voice and saying that Nnamdi Kanu has no case to answer. But you still need to do more. It shouldn't be all about media talks. Enough of the media talks. It's time to take actions. It's time to, take the Nigerian government to the ICC and tell them, look at what is actually happening, and take them to international communities. That is the kind of pressure we need. Yes, you did well. You did well by, speaking. He made mention of the issue of agitation. If you've been following my channels here, or my channel or my videos here, I've said it, repeatedly, that the reason why the issue of agitation and issue of secession skyrocketed in the Southeast region was because of what? These people hate the Igbos. The Igbos came out and told you, look at, we are marginalized, and they started agitating, which is obvious that these people are marginalized. This is how Nnamdi Kanu started. Nnamdi Kanu first of all told the Nigerian government, my people have been marginalized. It not start from today. Since 1970, after the war, you people have been marginalizing us. Nnamdi Kanu said this and that. Instead of a sensible government then to actually call Nnamdi Kanu and say, well, how are your people marginalized? How can we reach a consensus? You say your people need railway system. Can we do a railway system for you people? You say your people need industrialization. We are going to do it. You say your people need the dredging of River Niger so that they can have access to seaport to open up the Eastern Economic Corridors. I will do that. These are sensible things that Nnamdi Kanu offered and told the Nigerian government to do as of then. But because of Buhari hated the Igbos, because Buhari's government, a northern government, never wanted to see that the Igbos, stood up and probably, occupy some important political positions and, have some, economic power. Because they've seen that the Igbos, without giving them all these things, have so much economic power. So they are scared that if we now give them these basic things and these unnecessary things, they will, overpower us economically and otherwise. And instead of Buhari to do and listen to what Nnamdi Kanu said and actually call him for a roundtable discussion as of then, Buhari decided to use the military approach. Because he knows that is the only way he can actually invade the southeastern region. Just after what they did from 1967 to 1970, when they decided to fight a war against the people of the Igbos. So Buhari wanted to fight a second war. That was why he made sure that he militarized and sent the military or used the military approach in the issue of agitation. We saw how the issue of the Niger Delta region, was actually resolved amicably, and even amnesty was granted to them. The federal government had to sit down with them and listen to their cries, and they reached a consensus. When it came to the turn of the Igbos, Buhari, who has an intrinsic hatred for the Igbos, decided to invade that particular place, all in the name of stopping an agitation. He wanted to fight the Igbos. And look at what he did. But the truth of the matter is that you cannot stop the Igbos from shining. You cannot stop them from, growing so big. And this is the fear of most Nigerians. I've said it here. When an American journalist came out and said that the Nigerian people are scared of the Igbos. That is why they don't want them to, have so much political power. That without political power, without occupying most important political positions, that these people have achieved a lot. So imagine what they will achieve if they, have access to this particular political powers. That is why till today they don't want an Igbo man to be the president. They don't want an Igbo man to even be the vice president. And they don't want the Igbos to leave, because they know that when the Igbos leave, they are scared that the Igbos might develop a country or a nation that will be so bigger that will start competing with China and other world countries. So they just want to have a total control of what the Igbos do. But they should know that they cannot do that, because it cannot intimidate people that God has actually predestined to be great. So P2B said he was going to negotiate with agitators. That he was going to, first of all, negotiate with them. Well, like I said, this is the first thing any sensible leader could have done. If you truly love your nation, if you truly love the people, and the people told you, it's not like these people are cooking or probably making up this particular marginalization of a thing. No, they are really, really marginalized. Look at how they budgeted a lot of money for a lot of projects, but the southeastern region is being neglected. Look at the Eastern Economic Corridors. About how many seaports that Nigeria has. The Nigerian federal government intentionally made it make sure that it was only the Lagos seaports that are actually working. All the seaports in the Eastern Corridor are made to not to be functional to capacity. They are made not to be functional to capacity because that is what gives them joy. When they see that the Eastern Economic Corridors are closed, they don't want the Igbos They've seen how the Igbos, dominated the Lagos seaports with their importation and all that. So they are scared that when we open up the Eastern Economic Seaports, these people might actually, leave Lagos State, and how Nigeria has actually, survive. So they don't want anything that will, bring development to the entire Southeast region, which is what Nnamdi Kanu has been saying, which is part of his, agitation. So P2B clearly stipulated what all of us have been saying here. Yes, we know that he's desperate to become the so-called president of Nigeria, which I don't even care. Because the Igbos have received a lot of insults because of this seat of the presidency. Whatever thing that happens in the country, they'll be like, an Igbo man cannot be the president, that the Igbos must beg and ask for forgiveness. You keep on wondering, what kind of nonsense forgiveness are they seeking from the Igbos before we can, take the seat of the presidency, So they keep on, trying to blackmail us with the seat of the president. That's why I don't care about what P2B wants to do, because he's bringing more insults to the Igbos. We don't beg, and the Igbos shouldn't beg. Whenever it comes to the turn of the Igbos in the so-called Nigeria to become the president, they will expect us to come and start begging. But meanwhile, other regions have actually tested the seat of the presidency. So it is not a mistake. It is an intentional. And this is nice. Since 1999 to today, about 26 years, these people have not even had the opportunity to be the vice presidential candidate of the country. It's an intentional act. So P2B equally made mention that the Nigerian government has no issues or probably case against him as Nnamdi Kanu, saying that he made utterances, he did this, he did that, does not amount to a crime. It does not amount to a crime, because most of the things people are accusing him of, like I've said here, are just basically more of hearsay accusations and allegations. So the Nigerian federal government literally has nothing against Nnamdi Kanu. That is why they don't have anything to prove. They don't have any single case to prove against Nnamdi Kanu. They've been running scatter, blabbing, saying that Nnamdi Kanu did this. All the witnesses that they brought, that the DSS and the evidence that the DSS brought, did not directly indict Nnamdi Kanu to the alleged crimes. That is why Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer said, we are not going to forge ahead with this particular case. We are filing for a no-case submission, because the federal government are just running from one place to another without pinpointing what Nnamdi Kanu did that directly indicted him. So James Omotosho, who've often said it here, should actually listen to what a lot of people have been saying. Now it is P2B calling for the release of Nnamdi Kanu, saying that there is nothing this particular man has done. And apart from P2B, look at what the Kenya court has ruled. Look at what the UN has recommended. Look at what the courts in Nigeria, most of the courts everywhere have been ruling free this particular man because he has no case to answer. Your illegal extraordinary rendition, broke a lot of laws, and you cannot continue to build on illegality. You can't continue to build on illegality. You can't continue to build on illegality. So, P2B tried, in my own way, he tried to, voice out his stance on P2B, on Nnamdi Kanu's release and detention publicly. He tried, but like I said, he should do more. He should do more than just, a media chat and media talks. He should do more and take more actions to release his brother. We saw what Obasanjo and co did for Sunday Igboho. Some of them went to the Benin Republic to ensure that Igboho gets his freedom. So he should do more than that.